In this video, we're going to be going over everything you need to know about Air Canada's eUpgrades, which is a topic that absolutely none of you have been asking me about. Air Canada's eUpgrades are an important part of the new Air Canada and Aeroplan rewards ecosystems, and they're a special rewards currency that lets you upgrade from a lower class of service to a higher class of service on Air Canada flights. Now, eUpgrades have always been around in the past, but they've risen to prominence recently because they can now be redeemed in conjunction with Aeroplan points on a reward ticket. So it's going to be especially important to understand eUpgrades if you're looking to redeem Aeroplan points for Air Canada business class in the future. We have a lot of stuff to cover in this video. We're going to talk about how to earn eUpgrades, how to find eUpgrades in your online account, how to redeem eUpgrades, the best strategies for doing so, and some of the commonly asked questions and some comments about eUpgrades as a whole. So without further ado, let's get started. You can use the chapters tool down below to navigate by section. Do me a quick favor, hit the like button just as the video is starting out, especially if you're excited to learn all about eUpgrades, and let's begin. eUpgrades are a currency that's designed to reward Air Canada's most loyal flyers through the Aeroplan Elite Status program. Now, we had actually made an entire video about Aeroplan Elite Status, so I definitely recommend watching that video and fully understanding the Elite Status program before we delve into how we maximize eUpgrades. You'll earn your eUpgrades every year upon qualifying for Elite Status, and the exact number of eUpgrades that you earn depends on the status that you qualify for. Aeroplan 25K, 35K, 50K, 75K, and Super Elite members all get a base number of 20 eUpgrades, and on top of that, they may then choose their select benefit bundles of 5, 10, 20, 35, or 50 eUpgrades respectively. Once you've earned your eUpgrades, they're generally going to be valid until December 31st of that year. Now, you do have to redeem your eUpgrades for a flight that takes place before the expiry date. You can't actually redeem your eUpgrades for a flight that takes place afterwards. There is, however, one way to extend the expiry date of your eUpgrades and roll over up to 50 expiring eUpgrades to the following year, and that's going to be by taking advantage of a benefit on the premium Aeroplan credit cards, the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege, CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege, or the American Express Aeroplan Reserve Card or Aeroplan Business Reserve Card. As part of holding these cards, one of the benefits is that you get to roll over up to 50 eUpgrades over to the following year instead. So to summarize, on the earning side, Aeroplan Elite Status is going to be the key to earning eUpgrades, and if you recall from our previous video, then you don't actually need to fly to earn Aeroplan Elite Status. You can earn Aeroplan 25K status year after year through the Everyday Status Qualification benefit, in which you rack up 100,000 Aeroplan points through eligible sources. So for most of us who don't fly that often with Air Canada on paid fares, and I think the key to maximizing eUpgrades is going to be through that Everyday Status Qualification benefit. You'll earn Aeroplan 25K status and come out with 25 eUpgrades every year, which you can apply to business class upgrades. Before we talk about those redemptions, let's quickly go over how to actually find eUpgrades in your online account. If you log into Aeroplan, you'll see a little tab called eUpgrades under your benefits section. And if you click this, you'll actually be brought to a separate page on the Air Canada website that shows you how many eUpgrades you have in your account and when they're going to expire. And remember, you do have to redeem these eUpgrades for a flight that takes place before the expiry date. And when it's time to redeem eUpgrades, the process is also a little bit separate from the Aeroplan website itself. On the Aeroplan website, you can use the sort and filter function in the search results to find out which flights actually have space that you can upgrade into. However, that's only a preview of the space, and you do actually need to confirm your Aeroplan booking in, say, economy class first, and then go to the booking confirmation page and click eUpgrades, and that's where you're going to actually process your eUpgrade request and confirm an upgrade into business class. And on that note, let's talk about exactly how to redeem eUpgrade credits for upgrades to a higher class of service on Air Canada flights. Many people have commented that understanding eUpgrades is like studying linear algebra. It's super complicated. So let's do our best to break it down. The starting point is going to be the eUpgrade redemption chart that's published on the Air Canada website. This chart shows you how many eUpgrade credits you're going to need to request an upgrade, depending on several factors. The first factor is your travel zone. So the chart is broken down into flights within North America and the sun destinations and international flights, with upgrades on international flights generally requiring more eUpgrade credits than flights within North America and to sun destinations. Each zone is then divided into two different charts, one for upgrading into business class from an underlying fare of either economy or premium economy, and another chart for upgrading just into premium economy from an underlying fare of economy class. Each of these charts is then divided into two subcharts depending on whether you had paid cash for the fare or redeemed Aeroplan points for the flight. And then each of these subcharts are further divided into rows for the underlying fare category, so that's standard, flex, and latitude for economy, or lowest and flexible for premium economy, as well as columns for the distance traversed on the flight. And at the nexus of all of these criteria, you'll find the number of eUpgrade credits required to request an upgrade, as well as any cash surcharges that are applicable to this upgrade request. Yeah, you can pretty easily tell how this is comparable to getting a PhD in linear algebra. But the gist of it is to take a look at your Air Canada flight and ask yourself the following questions. Am I traveling within the North America and sun destination zone or traveling internationally? Am I trying to upgrade into business class or to premium economy? Did I pay for my fare with cash or with Aeroplan points? What's my underlying fare category and booking class? And what's the total distance traversed on my flight? And once you've answered all these questions, you can pinpoint the exact number of eUpgrade credits that's going to be required to process an upgrade to business class or premium economy. Now, at the very end of this eUpgrade policy on the Air Canada website, there's going to be one final chart that's going to be very important, and that's going to be the eUpgrade clearance windows. This chart shows you how many days before your flight your eUpgrade request will actually clear, and will try to process that upgrade for you if there's still space in the cabin you're trying to upgrade into. And you'll see that if you were to book an underlying fare category of premium economy lowest or economy class standard, flex, or comfort, then your eUpgrade request actually won't clear until 3 to 14 days before your flight, depending on your Aeroplan Elite Status level. So that actually means that if you're starting out with one of these lower end fare categories, then you actually won't know if you've been confirmed into a business class or premium economy upgrade until about 1 to 2 weeks before your flight. And that really isn't ideal if you're trying to travel in business class, for example. You don't really want to be waiting until 1 or 2 weeks before your flight to see if you've been upgraded, and if it just so happens that business class is full on that flight, then you're still stuck in economy and you haven't been able to put your eUpgrades to good use. And so that's why I think the emphasis of the eUpgrade strategies is really going to be on this column instead, the premium economy flexible bookings, and especially the economy latitude bookings. Because when you book one of these underlying fare categories, you can confirm an upgrade into business class or premium economy instantaneously immediately after making your booking. And so that's why I would say that the prevailing strategy for using eUpgrades for most Aeroplan members is what's known as the Latitude Attitude. Making bookings in Latitude, economy class, and upgrading them instantaneously immediately after booking into business class using your eUpgrades. Now, you'll want to do some careful comparisons when deciding whether to use eUpgrades to book economy Latitude and upgrade into business class, or to redeem Aeroplan points for business class directly. For example, if you take the sample Toronto-Vancouver flights on a given date, then some business class flights actually price around 100,000 Aeroplan points for the one-way. Then it would make a lot more sense to make a booking in economy Latitude and redeem 4 eUpgrade credits for that upgrade into business. You could save yourself up to 80,000 Aeroplan points on this one-way redemption. On the other hand, if the flight that you're looking at is already redeemable at a reasonable rate in business class, say around 25,000 Aeroplan points one way, then it wouldn't make any sense to book economy Latitude and redeem eUpgrades, because the same flight could be bookable in business class directly for the same or similar number of Aeroplan points. So anytime you're trying to redeem points for a flight in Air Canada business class or premium economy, you should always compare the pricing for a direct redemption in your chosen class of service versus booking economy Latitude and upgrading using your eUpgrade credits. Alright, now I wanted to address one of the most common questions about eUpgrades, and that's, can you redeem your eUpgrades for somebody else on an Air Canada flight? And to answer this question, I'd like to bring on my good friend and fellow Prince of Travel contributor TJ, who understands eUpgrades a little bit better than myself. So let's give TJ a call. All right, TJ, thanks for joining here on the video. So we had a question, very frequently asked question about eUpgrades, and that's, can you actually use your own eUpgrades to upgrade another passenger, whether they're traveling with you or not?
Yes, you can use your eUpgrades for another person. They do have to be on the same booking reference as you. But as long as that person is on the same booking reference, you can use your eUpgrades to nominate them in advance. You can also nominate one extra person at the airport on the day of travel. So as long as there's eUpgrade space available at that time, you're able to have a second person, but that's kind of cutting it close down to the wire. If you're a super elite, you can nominate somebody to use your eUpgrades on any booking, so they can travel by themselves and use your eUpgrades as well. So that's a nice additional perk for those of you with the super elite status.
Awesome. So if we're just a regular Aeroplan 25K status, let's say, and we're using the Latitude Attitude to book Latitude Economy and upgrade with eUpgrades, then we can only bring one fellow passenger on that booking and upgrade them in conjunction.
Yeah, you can only upgrade one person immediately, and then a second person if there's still space available at the airport and if they're on the same booking.
So as the eUpgrades expert here at Prince of Travel, how have you yourself been maximizing eUpgrades for some business class flights?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been keeping an eye out for a Sydney to Vancouver flight, speculative booking for later on this year. I booked my wife and myself in Latitude, instantly confirmed the upgrade to business class, wound up saving around 100,000 points per person. So in that case, I was getting excellent value out of my eUpgrades, and I really hope that this trip can happen.
Last question, how much would you value a single eUpgrade credit?
Well, there's an article that we did where we did a bit of an experiment to calculate a dollar figure, and well, you can get significantly more value. I think a good place to start would be around $60 per eUpgrade.
And if you'd like to check out that article over on princeoftravel.com, where we valued each eUpgrade credit and arrived at that dollar value, you can find it in the link up here. All right, finally, now that we've covered a lot of ground as it relates to earning and redeeming eUpgrades, I wanted to wrap up the video with some final comments about Air Canada's eUpgrades and highlight some of the issues that are still being worked out in the system, which you should be aware of if you're trying to redeem eUpgrades right now. I do think that because of some of the strategies we covered in the video, the fact that we can now combine eUpgrades with Aeroplan flight redemptions definitely adds a very exciting new way for us to redeem Aeroplan points for business class travel. Now the flip side to that is that, remember, you can also use eUpgrades towards flights booked with cash. But I actually think that's going to be less applicable of a strategy for most travelers, and here's why. As you'll recall, your eUpgrade requests are subject to a clearance window, and only if you book Latitude or Premium Economy flexible fares do you actually get to confirm that upgrade instantaneously as of the time of booking. Now, when you're using points for Latitude bookings, the price is actually not that much more expensive than the cheapest standard economy booking, but the same is not true when you're paying cash. When you're paying cash for an Air Canada flight, the standard or the flex fare might be pretty reasonably priced, but the Latitude fare might be 4 or 5 times the standard fare, even though it's still in economy class. And that might not be something that the majority of travelers are going to be comfortable with. And so that's why I think that redeeming Aeroplan points for Latitude economy bookings is going to be the better way to leverage the Latitude fare category's ability to confirm an eUpgrade instantly. It's going to be a better deal than paying cash. I also did want to highlight a little issue that people are currently facing when they're trying to redeem their eUpgrades. As you recall, you have to filter for eUpgrade space when searching for flights in order to find flights that actually have seats in business class or premium economy that you can confirm an upgrade into. However, even after doing this and making a Latitude economy booking, some users still find that when they try to go and use their eUpgrades, it says that only a waitlisted spot is available instead of an instantly confirmable upgrade into business class. Now, the good news is that as long as you've previously confirmed that there's upgrade seats available, then that's only a bug in the system. Even though it says waitlisted, you can go ahead and press continue, and it'll still process your upgrade instantaneously into business class or premium economy. But that is an issue that you might face, and it's something that Air Canada needs to clear up sooner rather than later. And on that note, we've covered pretty much all the details that you need to know about Air Canada's eUpgrades, which is a new and transformed angle to the Air Canada and Aeroplan ecosystem that'll help you maximize both your Aeroplan Elite status and the value of your Aeroplan points if you want to travel in business class. It's something that's pretty new and pretty intimidating and Byzantine at first glance, so I hope you found the video helpful to introduce you to the topic. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the Prince of Travel YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button below the video. Let me know in the comments, what do you make of Air Canada's eUpgrades as a whole? Have you redeemed them for upgrades to a higher class of service before? And do you plan on using the Latitude Attitude to book some cheap flights in Air Canada business class going forward? Let me know and I'll see you in the next video. Aeroplan 25K, 35K, 50K, 70K, 75K. For a total of 30